Are you serious? Are you serious? Live? Yes. Welcome to another YouTube edition of the coming apocalypse from somewhere buried in the mountains of the Smokies. I guess the Smoky Mountains somewhere. I don't know where. Anyway, guys, there's a lot been going on, and hope you liked the video about where we found the 6 elks. Actually, I only showed you 4 of them, but later after that video, we found 2 more very close to the road, huge elks. Anyway, good to see everybody here. Tonight, we will be doing Mike from Around the World live. Yes, that'll be at 9:30 Eastern live tonight. So be ready for that. I can't wait to see what Mike from Around the World has to say about all of these crazy events that's been going on around the world. And the war in Russia, of course, with Ukraine, it's unbelievable. And some of the other things that have been said here recently that's crazy, like about the New World Order or a one world currency. And then, of course, the tornado outbreaks that's been going on across the South. And days, we could see the fires and smell the smoke pretty strong, but that has seemed to die down due to the rain in this area. So thank God for that. But now there's wildfires burning in Kansas. Is all of this because of solar flares? Is the solar flares what's causing most of this situation? Well, let's put a shout out right now for noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. For years now, people have been setting up a little contest between crypto and gold. But that's like comparing a truck with an SUV. Matter of fact, both carry stuff and travel from A to B, but they do different jobs, okay? Gold's job is to keep the value of your money safe and preserve its value. And since Ukraine and the oil and the inflation crisis, it's done a brilliant job compared to the stocks and other investments. So if you're worried about what's going on right now, who isn't? Just talk with an expert, though, at noblegoldinvestment.com. Christian company, family owned. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. Colin Plume or one of his associates would love to help you. You can call him this morning at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. And tell him Pastor Paul sent you. Get a cup of coffee. Everybody get a cup of coffee and calm down. Anyway, wow. It's great to see you guys this morning. Yes, tonight we will be live at 9:30 Eastern with Mike from Around the World. Okay. You never know where you'll bump into Mike from Around the World, guys. You just never know. Anyway, don't miss it tonight at 9:30. Let's talk about what's happening, though, right now with these solar flares that are off the charts. Now, the airlines have admitted that they are monitoring the solar flares now. And guys, back when them 3 heavy CMEs were hitting the earth, 10,000 flights were canceled. The reasoning for the canceling of flights, this was just in America, 10,000 flights. Why were they canceled? It's because they believe, and the phone is ringing over there, they believe that the reason that the flights were canceled was the reason they gave us was technical reasons. But that's not going to get it, okay? Technical reasons. What does that mean? 10,000 flights canceled for technical reasons? Well, now we're finding out why. Solar storms to hit the earth prompted monitoring by airlines and electric grid operators. Where I told you this was going to start happening. Mike Around the World told us soon planes will start just falling out of the sky. You can't hide the effects of Planet X. A solar storm will sweep across the earth, and it did last night, raising prospects of dazzling lights visible as far south as Chicago, while prompting airlines and electric grid operators to step up monitoring of the potentially damaging geomagnetic activity. Solar eruptions called coronal mass ejections burst from the sun in 2 waves on Monday and are building up enough energy to potentially become a level 3 geomagnetic storm when it hits, according to Rob Steinberg, a space scientist with the U.S. Space Weather Prediction Center. Now, solar storms like hurricanes are ranked on a 5-step scale, with 1 being the weakest and 5 being the strongest, category 5s. But researchers won't exactly know this storm's strength until it reaches the monitoring satellite about 1 million miles from Earth. At that point, the waves will be about 90 minutes away and the forecast could be updated. A G3 storm can trigger false alarms for protection devices and power grids, create drag on low orbiting satellites. Remember when Elon Musk sent a satellite up there, and it was destroyed, it collapsed, it exploded, it fell to the earth? It's because it hit a low orbiting drag that's caused by solar flares. Now, it can disrupt high frequency on radio traffic. And back in February, as I said, SpaceX lost 40 Starlink satellites when they were launched into a geomagnetic storm. Airlines will have to monitor radiation levels, which could cause them to reroute polar routes. The storms could also interfere with the birds, which sometimes causes havoc for pigeon racing. Also, the electric grids, for the most part, won't get jazzed up until about a geomagnetic storm 3. But the sun goes through these 22-year cycles, which really they're 11 maximum, 11 minimum. It can produce a lot of sunspots with the source of many storms and then very few. But right now we are at a very high peak time, though it shouldn't be peak. We're only in the 2nd year of an 11-year cycle. The next 3 years will continue to get worse, and because we'll be in the middle of the cycle. And here's the thing, guys, that's without telling you anything about the effects of Planet X, which they're not going to tell you, because if they started telling the public about what the effects of Planet X will do to the sun, which affects us, people would start panicking big time. Add into that the fact that Planet X is affecting meteorites and satellites, and now you have what's called an apocalyptic scenario, which is exactly what Jesus described would be happening on his return. If you go to Luke 21, Jesus was asked the question about, can you tell us the signs of that coming at the end of the world? And Jesus said, yeah, I'll tell you. Take heed. This is verse 8. They ask him in verse 7, can you say, Master, when shall these things be? Okay. And what sign will there be when these things come to pass? In Matthew 24 and in the end of the world. Here's what Jesus said. Take heed that you be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. But go ye not therefore after them, these false messiahs. Don't follow them. But when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. That's what's going on right now with Ukraine and Russia and around the world. Don't be terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. And great earthquakes, then shall nations rise against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms. Then he said unto them, nations shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdoms, and great earthquakes shall be in divers places, different places, and famines and pestilences or plagues and diseases and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. So we're going to see a lot of apocalyptic events. Now, there's a lot more in here. Persecution of the church, persecution of the Jews. Verse 20, when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. So the Jews got to flee. Okay. They got to get out of Judea. They got to get out of the West Bank. And they got to flee over into Petra. These are the days of vengeance. Woe unto them with child, with those that are nursing children in those days. Pray that your flight not be in the winter and all that, in the Sabbath. But then he says this in verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea, the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear. Men's hearts will fail them for fear, for looking after those things coming upon the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, lift up your head, for your redemption is drawing nigh. So we're watching the signs. The Bible said, watch and pray, for an hour you think not, the Son of Man cometh. That is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to keep a close eye on all of this, because certainly we are living in the last days. Okay, the last days. No doubt about that. And I'm going to leave you with this song, because I'm going to tell you something. You need to know what Psalms 91 says. You need to give your life to Jesus Christ. You need to be and get under the shadow of the Almighty of God. In other words, come under God's divine protection as we're coming upon the Passover. These next 8 days are critical for you. Get your life, your family, get everything under the blood of Jesus Christ. Be right back. Mike from around the world tonight. Get some coffee and calm down.
The earth can shake, the sky come down, the mountains all fall to the ground. But I will fear none of those things. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Dark waters rise, the thunder pounds, the wheels of war are going round, and all the walls are crumbling. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings.
That's right.
Hide me underneath your wings. Hide me deep inside your heart. In your refuge, cover me.
What?
The world can shake, but
Lord, I'm making you my hiding place.
the wind will blow, the rain can pour, the deluge break, the tempest roars. But in that storm, my spirit sings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your
Morning,
wings.
Tennessee.
Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings.
Another great red state.
Hide me underneath your wings. Hide me deep inside your heart. In your refuge, cover me. The world can shake, but Lord, I'm making you my hiding place. Now on that day, you call for me. Someday when time no more shall be, and I say, death, where is your sting?
Thank you, Soda.
Shelter me, Lord, underneath
Thank you,
your
John Reynolds.
wings. Shelter me, Lord,
Thank you, Anthony or Tony.
underneath your wings.
Tina. Thank you, Angel's Life.
Hide me underneath your wings.
Shirley, we love you too.
Hide me deep inside your heart. In your refuge, cover me. The world can shake, but Lord, I'm making you my hiding place. Now on that day, you call for me. Someday when time no more shall be. Well, I say, death, where is your sting? Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings.
Oh, yes. There's no doubt about it. Somebody shout. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. That's on my album, The Journey. Oh, yeah. What a great, great song. Really, folks. What a great, great song. Okay. Now, let me just say to you quickly. Tonight we will be live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern with Mike from around the world. Also, there's a lot more news, so I'm going to be I'll be right back at you just a few minutes with another video. I want you also to know that the Passover is coming. The Passover is coming. You need to start preparing now to give your Passover offering and the 7 blessings of the Passover that comes on you. We've had so many people confirm this over the years. Give your best offering. It is the Passover. Bring your best. Don't come empty-handed. God said that. Be sure of that because I read it to you in the scripture. Be sure you give your Passover offering and give your best. Give your best. Whatever that is, the Lord will speak to your heart. You will know. And as you give, watch what God will do, the 7 blessings of the Passover. I'll be telling you more about that. We're taking up that day. Passover is the 15th of April. It's also Good Friday. So they're together this year. They should be every year. I don't know why they're not. We're going to also that day, besides lifting the Passover offering that entire weekend, and actually you can start sending your offerings early if you want. You can get them in. You can if you're putting a check in the mail, put it in the mail, send it. If you want to send it on however you want to send your Passover offering. We will also be taking communion at 6 p.m. Eastern on April 15th. We'll be taking communion on April 15th at 6 p.m. Eastern. So it's Good Friday and Passover. It'll be a power of communion. We'll do it live on April 15th.
Yes, we'll be in Indiana.
And we'll be in Indiana. Yeah, oh, yes, we'll be in Indiana when we do that. Yes.
West Lafayette.
And in West Lafayette, Indiana. Yes, we will. So we'll be doing live communion from our studios in West Lafayette, Indiana. That's actually where we're headed. We're on our way. So anyway, God bless all of you. Is there something else I'm forgetting, honey, about the Passover? It's Passover. It's Good Friday. And then Sunday morning, I'll be preaching Easter Sunday at Community Gospel Baptist Church in Knox, Indiana.
If anybody wants to be baptized up in Indiana,
let Indiana.
us know now so we can have the baptistry ready.
That's right. Going to be in Indiana for a few weeks, so let us know if you want to be baptized. We could baptize you
if you're in the north.
If you're in the north, yep. All right, love all of you guys. God bless. I'll be back with more right here on the coming apocalypse. Are you serious?